Roxo Media House.
From the Flying T Club studios at Roxo Media House, this is Frogs Today. And now here's your host, the voice of the TCU Horned Frogs, Brian Estridge.
Welcome into the Friday edition of Frogs Today. We come to you from Kansas City, Missouri, where the Horned Frog basketball program's well underway in March Madness, thanks to the Big 12 championships, and both survive and advance out of the quarterfinal round. Reagan Peebly's women's team with a good win over Kansas in that first round action. 57-52 was the final in that one. They get set now to take on number 2 Oklahoma later on today at 5 o'clock. Jamie Dixon's team advancing with an impressive win over Kansas State, the number 3 seed. That one should do it for postseason for Jamie Dixon's squad as they now turn their attention to the number 2 seed, Texas. Again, an 8:30 start tonight, Friday night, for Jamie Dixon's club. We'll talk more about both of those games coming up a little bit later on. A couple of other news and notes that we have to get you ready for. 10th-ranked TCU baseball getting set now to play host to USD. That's the University of San Diego. They're in town. They were a postseason team last year. They're here for a Friday, Saturday, Sunday set. That's baseball here on campus at TCU. Success continues for the Horned Frogs as a couple of number 1 ranked teams are in action, including the rifle team on the road at Akron. This is the national championships now. TCU is back-to-back national champions in air rifle. This is the 17th straight year that they've been in the national finals. In Akron now, try to defend that title, try to add to the list, is the TCU rifle team. Speaking of number one men's tennis is in town as well. They've got number 34 UCLA is in town here this weekend out at the center courts. So get ready for that one with David Roditi's team, number 1, defending that number 1 ranking as well. Number 1 beach volleyball. It continues now for the Horned Frogs. Number 1 beach volleyball gets set to take on a couple of teams in town. LSU, Texas A&M, Kingsville, Southern Miss are all here for the Horned Frog Invitational. That's going on. So, and women's tennis, by the way, we're going to hear from them a little bit later on. Had a couple of their stars with us, joined us Thursday night for the Players Club with Olivia Lee. We'll hear from them as our show rolls on. All right, we got a lot of basketball we got to get into. Before we do that, a little personal note. And you can, maybe we'll flash editorial at the bottom of this. A lot went into the TCU basketball team over the last couple of days before that game against Kansas State. And there were things written, there were things said, there were rumors that were flying. I can tell you this, folks. We've been had a chance to be around Jamie Dixon for a long time. There's not a better man in the country coaching a college basketball team. There's not a more giving basketball coach than Jamie Dixon. He loves his players. He cares about his players deeply. It's not all about basketball with him. And, that needs to be said. So keep that in mind when you read things, when you see things, when you hear rumors out there. Jamie Dixon is about the right things, all right? His kids love him, his players love him, and he loves them back. And all he's concerned about is their health and their well-being. And we'll leave it at that, folks. Horned Frogs had a good win against Kansas State. We'll hear from Jamie Dixon a little bit later on. But we're going to start with Reagan Peebly. Her team wins 57-52. How about this upset over Kansas? They get to advance and take on Oklahoma. And here's the head women's basketball coach at TCU, Reagan Peebly, postgame here in Kansas City.
And I thought the energy that the team came to Kansas City with was so good. And they, played really hard. They practiced hard. They played hard. I told them in timeouts, I think my last time out, I was very clear. I am not going to win you this game. You guys are going to win this game. You're going to make plays. And they did. I mean, they just really, really played with a ton of synergy, and they were super fun to watch today. Kansas, I just think so much of Brandon and the job that he does, how he does it, from what he does on the court, his composure on the sideline, his end-of-game situations, all of it. And there's so many games with them that we've played over the years that just come down to moments like that. He's built a really good program and just a ton of stability that he's got. So, I knew that they'd been playing with a lot of chemistry. They have a ton of familiarity. And, our team has a lot of still, I mean, we're new pieces. They've had pieces that have played together for 3-4 years. It's so hard with new pieces to come into a conference tournament and win. And super proud of this team that they're able to get that done.
Reagan Peebly's team today, 5 o'clock, set to take on Oklahoma. Stay here to Frogs Today and FrogsToday.com for all the latest on that. They get to play at beautiful Memorial Auditorium here in Kansas City. Great historic facility. All right, coming up next, let's zone in on men's basketball. They got the win over Kansas State to advance now to take on Texas for the third time on the year. Coming up, we'll hear from two of the stars from that ball game, plus Jamie Dixon postgame. We do that when Frogs Today on the Friday continues after this timeout.
The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
Dave's Hot Chicken is a cult favorite and now has 2 locations in Fort Worth, Bryant Irvin Road on I-20 and Berry Street at TCU. Both owned and operated by Horned Frogs. Mention the Frogs Today show and get 10% off anytime and order online at daveshotchicken.com.
This is Cowtown Headache Center, a neurology clinic that specializes in headache medicine. We offer standard oral medications, we offer trigger point injections, we offer multiple nerve blocks, we offer infusions both for prevention medication and for acute relief. My name is Andrew Levere. I'm a physician assistant that has a special certification from the National Headache Foundation in headache medicine. Patients are pretty shocked when I tell them we have tons of options for them and that we can do better than what they're doing. I don't just tell you, here's one medicine we're going to try. I'll give them options, and then ultimately we choose together as the provider and patient. It's very satisfying to know that we're changing people's lives.
Welcome back into Frogs Today. We're coming to you from Kansas City here today as the Horned Frogs set tonight at 8:30 to take on a quality Texas program. They advanced by beating Oklahoma State. Frogs, of course, got Kansas State in the win yesterday. 80-67 was the final in that one. They got 22 points out of both Mike Miles and Chuck O'Bannon. Big game Chuck, huh? Postseason Chuck with the 22 points, just one shy of his career mark, which, by the way, he set against Arizona last year in the NCAA tournament. Our own Jamie Plunkett caught up with both of those gentlemen. Let's start with Jamie, with Mike Miles, the point guard for the Horned Frogs right now.
Thanks, Brian, here with Mike Miles following TCU's 80-67 win over Kansas State. Mike, you guys shot the ball really well from 3 tonight. That's been something you guys have consistently been working on throughout this season. How good was it to see those shots fall tonight?
It was good. You know, when you see shots go in, it makes the whole game better. So we got up to a slow start. When shots started going in, we started playing defense. So it just helps us. And, you know, we worked on it every day. You know, we haven't been shooting as good, you know, but today we made shots and, you know, it got us the win.
Chuck O'Bannon, 22 points. You had 22 points as well. When did you start to see that Chuck was getting things going, shooting the ball?
Early. I think he made 2 threes early, and we just tried to keep giving the ball, you know, and I made a couple threes, so it made them commit on defense, and we found our other guys. So it was good, man. It was a good all-around team win.
You know, offensively, you guys were hitting shots tonight, but defensively, that's been your calling card all season. What did you guys do to lock down some of those really impressive guards for Kansas State?
Yeah, we just on Noel, we just wanted to blitz him, get the ball out of his hands, make somebody else do something with it. You know, we know how good he is. He's a great player, All-American. So, you know, get the ball out of his hands, make somebody else do something with it. That was the whole game plan, and we got it.
All right, Texas tomorrow night, trying to break that 1-1 tie on the season. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
All right.
Mike Miles finishes with 22 points and 4 assists in that game, proving who the best point guard in the league was, I think, with that one. We all know he would have been first team if not for that injury. All right, but he had a guy helping him out, especially early on. Chuck O'Bannon scored the first 5 for the Horned Frogs, kept him in it early. He was knocking him down from outside the arc as well. Finished with 22 points in this ball game. Chuck O'Bannon had to be your MVP for that win, and Jamie Plunkett's with him right now.
That's right, Brian. I'm standing here with Mr. Postseason, as Jamie Dixon called him in the press conference afterwards. Chuck O'Bannon with 22 points on the night, shot the ball really well. Also led the team with 7 rebounds. Chuck, what did you? How would you assess your performance on the night in the big win?
It was just a comfortable night for me. I just wanted to get going. End of the season, win or go home. So that's big for us, and we wanted to make sure we get this first win, set a statement for the rest of the tournament.
After you left the podium, Coach Dixon continued to talk about you, got a little bit emotional talking about how hard you've worked this year, how proud he is of you. What does that mean to have that level of confidence from your head coach?
Well, it means everything. Nobody wants to play for a head coach that doesn't have confidence in them, and this wasn't my best year, and Coach Dixon still had confidence in me to this day, so, that means everything.
All right, you got a big game coming up against Texas. What are you looking forward to about your third matchup against the Longhorns?
We got to play hard. They're a really good team. I believe number 2 seed, so we got to come in. We got to rebound the ball. That's big for us. Texas is a very tough team. They rebound very well, so we need to win the rebounding battle to have a chance.
All right, congrats, Chuck.
Appreciate you.
That's Jimmy Plunkett with Chuck OBannon. Both he and Mike Miles a big part of this victory for TCU over Kansas State. Jamie Dixon postgame talked about several different things. You're going to see some emotion from the head coach here postgame. One of the things, though, that he had to be happy about was the 11 threes his team made. That's a season high for the Horned Frogs, knocking down 11 three-pointers did TCU. Also forcing 20 turnovers by Kansas State and turning those into points, 20 points, as a matter of fact, as well. Here's Jamie Dixon, the head coach, after the Horned Frogs knock off Kansas State. Here he is in his own words.
Just really proud of our guys. As I told them in the locker room, we did what we asked them. Were asked to do, and the preparation the last 2 days was just efficient, smart, focused, and just so proud of them. So really happy for Chuck. He's, as we say, Mr. Postseason. It's his time, like it's our time, and we were ready. So Mike was tremendous. Damien was really good too. All of our guys played well. That's what we said. Every guy gave us good minutes, and that's hard to do against a really good team. So I'm proud of them and how they play. They're so unselfish. 20 assists, 9 turnovers. I got that wrong. 17 assists. But we did what we wanted to do on the defensive end. We forced turnovers, and that was what we did to beat them. And when we lost them the first time, we didn't do that. So we really did what we were asked to do.
Head coach Jamie Dixon now focusing in on a Texas Longhorn team. The Frogs, of course, played them just, a week or so ago at home, got the win, lost to them on the road after leading for much of that ball game earlier in the year. This one's going to be a great game at 8:30 tonight. The Horned Frogs and the Texas Longhorn meet again, this time in Kansas City, with an opportunity to head to the finals of the Big 12 championships. All right, we'll be covering that, by the way, all weekend live here at Frogs Today and FrogsToday.com. When we come back, we'll talk a little women's tennis. We had 2 of their rising stars on the Players Club on Thursday night with Olivia Lee, and we get to listen in on that when we continue with Frogs Today on the Friday after this time out.
Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Richard's Rainwater. Richard's Rainwater is 100% rain, refreshing, renewable, and the only ingredient we use in our water. Why rain? Because everyone deserves access to clean water, and rain is a 100% renewable resource available everywhere. Drink the rain. Save the planet. Shop now at richardsrainwater.com.
Texas-based Happy Water offers the best-tasting, sugar-free kids drink ever made. Happy Water comes in 4 delicious flavors that you can find at local retailers and on Amazon. Each pouch contains 0 grams of sugar, 0 calories, and 0% juice. Head to happydrinks.com for more information and to purchase Happy Water. That's HAPI drinks.com. Live happy, be happy, drink happy. Dave's Hot Chicken is a cult favorite and now has 2 locations in Fort Worth, Bryant Irvin Road on I-20 and Berry Street at TCU. Both owned and operated by Horned Frogs. Mention the Frogs Today show and get 10% off anytime and order online at daveshotchicken.com.
The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
Welcome back into Frogs Today here on the Friday. Well, we've talked a lot about this number one ranked men's tennis team. Let's focus in on the women's tennis team as well now, because this group, I tell you what, there's a lot of good young talent on it. Two of their rising international stars were with our own Olivia Lee on Thursday night at the Players Club, live from John's Grill. And it sounded like this.
What are your goals? What's your end goal to come out of this season? Is there one thing that you guys are really shooting for as a team or as individuals?
I mean, I think coach shared like a story with us about like the Atacama Desert that was like, it's one of the driest places on earth. And like it has like super blooms of flowers.
Okay.
So we are like, every day we are like planting seeds with our actions. So that's like kind of like what we stand for. And then if we continue to do things right, we'll see like, you know, that like flower bloom at the end of the season that I feel like we deserve. Like I have been here like 5 years and I feel like we should be able to go to nationals and to like, you know, make a statement with our actions. So that was pretty powerful story when he shared that. You know, I started like thinking every day about like that, like planting seeds and every day with little actions, you know. So
what was that first step on the TCU campus like for you? Did everything just come together, or what was that feeling like? I can't imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I was quite lucky that there was an Australian girl here, Lex, who was on the team. She graduated, and I mean, she's from Australia. I'm from New Zealand, so we instantly like go along like pretty well. So I was incredibly lucky to like have her here. You know, taking me on the tour around campus and like showing me the way around TCU. So
Great job there by Olivia Lee and her guest. I'm looking forward to great things from Lee Taylor Walker's group. Of course, he's the head coach of the women's tennis team here at TCU. That's going to do it for this week's edition of Frogs Today. Don't forget, complete coverage from this tournament here in Kansas City continues at Frogs Today and FrogsToday.com. We need you to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Most importantly, subscribe and tell your friends as we continue to add to the roles here of our Frogs Today family. We're glad you're a part of it. All right, we're going to leave you here with some sights and sounds from Kansas City. Do a great job hosting this Big 12 championship. Let's see how good it is right now.
Frogs Today is brought to you by the Flying Tea Club, supporting TCU student athletes, and by Richard's Rainwater. Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Frogs Today is a production of Roxo Media House. Roxo Media House.